Greetings, Shalom. This is Ted Hayes, civil rights, homelessness activist, um, homelessness resolution activist, being based here in Los Angeles for 37 years. I became homeless in 1985 on purpose and lived on the sidewalks of the streets of downtown LA's Skid Row, the what we call the national homeless capital's ground zero black hole vortex. And I lived there for 8 years on purpose as an activist to learn what this matter was and whether there was a resolution to it. And thank God I was able to discover a resolution which I have been promoting ever since with slow, steady progress. I want to address you today out of my experience in homelessness culture. I want to address the crises well, it's the public health and safety crisis that is presently growing and threatening evermore the local neighborhood in Venice Beach around the library, um, um, Centennial Park area. It's located between Ocean Way on the west side, and Abbott Kinney on the north side, on between well on South Venice Boulevard. You all know where it is. We call that the library encampment. I warned the sheriff department and other people months ago when I saw this developing. It was only maybe 3 or 4 tenths, and I could see where it was headed, but I was ignored. I also warned about the rapid removal of people from the beach without any kind of organized effort as to where they would go afterwards. And I said, if you do that, that it will scatter the people further back into the neighborhoods and create a greater problem for the local neighborhoods. When you could capture these people now and manage it to where we could lead them peacefully, voluntarily away from the beach, but instead they chose to scatter them. And of course, they began to come back to the beach as I predicted. But now we have a greater crisis right in the eye of the Venice community on Venice Boulevard, which is really sad, which could have been avoided. So I come to you, the residents of the neighborhood, to the local retailers and businesses and property owners and corporations located in the neighborhood, um, to work with my White House negotiating A team to organize ourselves into a functioning body politic to properly address the matter there at the encampment or in the neighborhood. We are doing this because obviously the people whom we have paid our tax dollars to and designated in the government and in the private sector, where we spent over what billions of dollars in the last 2.5 decades on this matter, and homelessness culture has not abated, but rather has gotten worse. And of course, the people who spent the money, of course, they did well with building their own organizations and lining their own pockets to pay their bills, which is understandable, but wrong. Nonetheless, these folks have clearly failed us. And we know that the police department cannot, and the sheriff department just proven that they cannot resolve this matter. And thank God that the sheriffs and the police cannot, because that is a police state. They are not designated to that. They're only designated to deal with criminals, crime. Nonetheless, the fact is, the Constitution says that it is not the duty of the government servants, our government servants, whom we pay as our employees, to more perfect the union. That's not their job. Uh, the Constitution says we the people, you and I, we are ordered to organize ourselves into a functioning body politic to more perfect the union, and we more perfect the union by 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 enforcing our paid employees as our tools to do our bidding, comply with our will, that the union may be more perfected. And now here we sit in Venice Beach, not just this encampment, but many others, but this is the predominant one. And nobody knows what to do. And nobody knows how long it's going to last. And recently they put up signs, of course, outlawing it, but they cannot enforce it. So The people who are suffering the most are the local residents, because the people who are residing temporarily in that encampment, having no place to eliminate bodily waste, are doing it not only there on the property, but also in the neighborhoods, in the bushes, in the alleys, in the front and backyards, and behind people's cars and garbage bins, and creating a public health and safety threat to the community. And we do not know what diseases could be um, germinated in this kind of a living condition. So, out of interest to the local residential neighborhood and the retail neighborhood, I want to work with you to resolve this matter that is in your face. Not your fault, not the people's fault. It is clearly the inability of the people to whom we have paid and designated to resolve this. They have not been able to do it. So we have to do it. And one of the first things we must do, and when we begin to do what I'm going to propose to you out of our private resources, it will therefore um, intimidate, shame the designated government servants whom we have hired to do their job, which is obeying our detailed will to them, which we will do and we will have for them once we get their attention by us taking the initiative and taking charge of our local neighborhood destiny and not leaving it into their hands. Okay? The first thing that must happen now is my intent and the intent of my team, Justiceville, White House negotiating 18, to actually, first of all, manage the situation, get it under control, get it cleaned up, stop the panhandling, stop all the rummaging around in the alleyways of the neighborhood. We can do that first. And in doing that, which will win their confidence in me and you, I want to put there some class A toilets, the kind that movie stars use, where they flush and wash their hands. We have to have that, not the other porta potty cheap ones. They're too dangerous. We need this. And of course, we will have people there 24/7, and we'll pay these people to maintain and keep them safe and clean, so there's no drug use or other kinds of avarice or antisocial behavior in those, if you know what I mean. By doing that, we will win their confidence. I'm also working with some people to put in there a hot spot, a little tower where the people there can stop going into the library to charge their phones and make phone calls and use their Wi-Fi and their computers. We want to have They're going to have their own right there, and someone is going to working on financing that. Oh, and by the way, back to the toilets. We put these toilets in there. Number one, it will subside the the bodily waste in your neighborhoods. Um, at least you will not get it from the people who are residing there. We have no control yet of those outside of the encampment, but those within, we can control that much of it at least. And places that, local businesses who have been so kind and merciful and understanding to let these folks use their bathrooms, thank you. And especially for the women, it's really, really, really difficult for women out there to find places to safely take care of themselves. So thank you for those of you who have been doing that. But anyway, the point is, your local business, you won't have that trouble anymore. Okay, not from that particular group of people. So we will abate that much of it at least. Um, so we're going to put the hotspot into to keep the people from going to the library. And we're bringing in food, we're bringing in facilities, and we're bringing other people who are non-homeless, like me, domestic peace, what we call the domestic Peace Corps workers, who will amalgamate and live in amongst them and help to manage and control. Uh, Later, I will send you more information on just exactly how the domestic Peace Corps can work. I don't want to take up all of your time right now. I just want to introduce myself. And you can Google Ted Hayes and homelessness. You'll see who I am. You can go to LA Times Nexus and you'll see Ted Hayes. You'll see who I am. You can go to my websites. You go to Dome Village, DOME Village.us, and particularly notice Exodus, rather Egypt. That is my overall national, comprehensive, strategic national policy and plan that humanely resolves homelessness culture and its mainstream causes. Okay, we're calling the whole idea Exodus. Okay, that's our code word, Exodus. Um, so also you can go to uh, uh, New Frontier 2 now. That's NF the number 2, NF the number 2 NOW now.com. NF2now.com. And look through there, and you'll see all the information as to what we are really up to here with Exodus. And the other one you can go to is Domestic Peace Corps. This is the centerpiece of this whole operation. Without the Domestic Peace Corps, which I'll explain later, you'll be able to see why this is the centerpiece. Domestic Peace Corps is DomesticPeaceCorps.org, domesticpeacecorps.org. And I want you to focus primarily on all of the points where we talk about presidential executive order, the need for presidential executive order to address homelessness nationwide, but beginning here in Los Angeles, right here in Venice Beach, California. Let's see what else I need to tell you before I go. I think that's it right now. My phone number is 424-248-4219. 424-248-4219. You can also email me, Ted at Ted Hayes, HAYES.US, Ted at TedHayes.us. Call me anytime. And if this is resonating with you, perhaps we can organize a Zoomer where different folks of you in the community can get together, and then I can explain more in detail exactly what the strategy is and what our immediate, intermediate, and long-term objective is, and how this is actually, you'll find out soon, this whole situation is actually into your benefit. This is in your interest. This is an asset to your development. Okay? So that's all I have to say right now. I hope that's not too much. But thank you so much. I will be going in and out of Encampment on a regular basis, and I'll be continuing to visit your businesses and your neighborhoods and canvassing you. So when I knock on your door, please don't think I'm a threat. I'm your friend. All right. God bless you. Thank you for your time. And we are looking forward to working close with you and resolving this matter and I'm sure all of you, in a humane way. It's not about loving people or even liking people. It's about business and about all of our mutual interest in having this public health and safety issue, this sanitation issue resolved first and foremost. Then, as we get it stabilized, we will move the complete body that's located there to another location, out of the neighborhood to another designated spot. And we'll tell you more about how that's going to work in our next conversation. Thank you very much for taking time again. See you soon. Blessings.